if you don't know what you're good at, here's my hack for figuring out what you're good at. Ask your 20 closest friends and family members and mentors. Email them and say, hey, what am I good at? Be honest with me. And then you can even ask, if you want like a real fun day, like ask them what you're not good at. Just be like, what am I bad at? You'll get some good answers. But seriously, ask 20 of your closest friends, family, mentors, what you're good at. And if 10 out of the 20 responses are the same, then there's probably something there. And do this because you might be blind to what you're good at. Maybe you keep a super clean room and you don't think that that is a skill, but that organization might be really good for bringing into a management position, scaling some of your entrepreneurial ideas. Or there might be other skills that come up. Maybe you're super social, but you don't think that that's a marketable skill. And as far as career opportunities, that's for you to go out and explore. Figure out what problems you have in your own life. Figure out what problems are in the world right now, and see if you have the unique zone of genius to solve it. So again, you can email me for more personality tests and all that, but I wanted to give you this zone of genius concept. I guarantee that if you do this for yourself and really articulate what it is that you do better than most people in the world, it will change your life. So for me, it was figuring out that I can connect people and ideas together better than most people on the planet, and that's changed my life dramatically. All right, finding your tribe. Yay! You guys are super excited. So this is perhaps the most important slide that I'll be talking about. And again, this is not just for the millennials in the room, this is for the non-millennials equally. When I say finding your tribe, I'm talking about finding the people in your life that will really enrich your life and change your life. You don't want to be surrounded by negative people. You don't want to be surrounded by friends who aren't intelligent in some way or another, who don't know their own zone of genius, who aren't working to help you figure out how to solve problems. In fact, who you surround yourself with is perhaps the most important thing you'll do in life. From a romantic standpoint, picking your partner in life is perhaps the most important thing you'll ever do. But it also translates to everything you do, from your social life to business to just having intellectual conversations on a daily basis and learning more about yourself. You need to be careful about who you surround yourself with. So when you find your tribe, number one is to choose carefully. And you can do this in a few ways. One is you can figure out, okay, I want to surround myself with this certain type of person, right? Maybe you want to start a business one day, and in order to do that, you need to surround yourself with entrepreneurs because they'll be like-minded in thinking, they'll encourage you, they'll give you introductions. So how are you going to choose carefully your new entrepreneurial tribe? Well, if you're in Monterey, you can come to a conference like this where someone's chosen the tribe for you, and you can just insert yourself, and your life is very easy. You can go on meetup.com or go online and find different online forums and find new connections that way. You can also find activities that these people would like to do. So a lot of entrepreneurs in the US stay healthy by doing CrossFit. So you can go sign up for a CrossFit class and meet a ton of entrepreneurs. Or maybe they network in a certain place, like a certain restaurant. You can just hang out at that restaurant or in that hotel lobby and meet people that way. You need to be all I'm trying to say is you need to be very careful, very deliberate about how you meet people in life. And sure, there's serendipity in it, but you'll meet a lot better people if you're in that hotel lobby waiting to meet a good person rather than just bumping into them on the side of the street or by a local taqueria. You need to be really careful about who you surround yourself with. And specifically, I want to talk about surrounding yourself with 3 different types of people. First, you need to surround yourself with really good mentors. And I'll tell you a funny story just so that you can laugh at me. When I was 15, I started my first business, and I had this tech idea. It was in education. It was an online tutoring site. The guy who was helping me start my first business was my mom's boyfriend at the time. And not only did he not know, he was kind-hearted, seemingly, but not only did he didn't know much about tech, he didn't know much about education, and I found out later that he served time in prison for securities fraud on Wall Street. So at least it was a white-collar crime, but I quickly realized that I didn't want to surround myself with someone who was like hanging out with the Wolf of Wall Street. So I quickly changed up how I approached mentors. And when I was 16, I read an article in Forbes called "The Most Connected Man You Don't Know in Silicon Valley." And it was about this guy, David Hassel. And he, through these like really crazy dinner parties, he had like Tim Ferriss at his dinners. He had a professional soccer player, Warren Buffett's former pilot, just like really crazy, wacky, talented people. And he was also running a successful startup. And so I was like, well, shit, I want to be like you, David. I don't want to be like, this Wolf of Wall Street guy. So I reached out to him. I said, David, I want to work for you as an unpaid intern in exchange for your mentorship. And I didn't hear from him for 3 months, but then 3 months later, I heard from him. He gave me a shot, and sure enough, I spent 2 years working for that company, went from an unpaid intern to running their outbound sales team, and got introductions to a bunch of other mentors, got all these career opportunities, all because of this one mentor. And yes, I was lucky to read that Forbes article, but again, I chose carefully like what I surrounded myself with, not only in terms of people, but like news sources. I put myself in a position where when that headline came across my screen, I could email him and say, hey, David, I want to provide you value. I want to work for you. And sure enough, like my life has changed dramatically from that. And because of that, I've surrounded myself with a ton of other mentors in life, from Fortune 500 C-suite executives to people who have helped me with my personal life, just like every type of mentor imaginable. So a cool thought exercise is thinking of yourself as a company. And most companies have like an advisory board or a board of directors. Think of yourself as a company and have a personal advisory board, and figure out what mentors you want at the table with the different skill sets and the different mindsets that can help you shape your thinking, introduce you to cool people, all that fun stuff. I'm going to skip peers. Mentees is misspelled. That's okay. We make mistakes. But you want to find mentees as well. This is especially important if you're a little more experienced in the crowd. And you always want to surround yourself with people who aren't in the trenches with you, who aren't 20 years into the industry. You want to find people that have absolutely nothing to do with what you're doing. So if you're an entrepreneur, you want to talk to maybe your mom, who has no idea about your business, although you've told her 50,000 times about your new startup idea. She's a great like mentee, potentially. Or you want to find, if you're in the fashion world, maybe you want to talk to someone in the science world and ask them what they think of your business, because they'll give you a completely different viewpoint on everything you're doing, and you'll be able to shape your thinking differently because of it. And keep a hand in the sand mentality when you're doing this stuff. So if you've gone to a beach before, you like pick up a whole thing of sand, but a lot of the particles will fall out of your hand. So you want to keep all the good insights and all the good advice and say thank you for all of it, and like the shitty stuff, like let it go out of your hands. Just like, thank you, but I don't want to listen to you, Mr. Wolf of Wall Street. Or like, thank you, I don't want to listen to that idea for a new taco stand because I have 10 restaurants that are doing really well. Things like that. Perhaps the most important thing is surrounding yourself with really good peers. And so when I said that you'll learn more from each other than myself, I absolutely mean that. Because you guys are with each other day to day. You're entrepreneurs who can help one another in a similar ecosystem. And while I can come in and give you advice for 30 or 45 minutes, you guys are in the trenches together. And you will learn more from each other than anyone else ever. So make a really deliberate choice to surround yourself with world-class peers. And fortunately, I've done this with 2 billion under 20. It's been an amazing byproduct of all my work, is that I've made friends with Olympians and made friends with nuclear scientists and made friends with people who are running multi-million-dollar businesses, all who are around my age. And so we all think differently, but it's allowed me to stay sane in the process, because as entrepreneurs, we go through like mental roller coasters each day and every day. And if you have really good peers around you, you'll be able to get through a lot of these problems faster. The final hack in order to live deliberately in terms of how you surround yourself with people is to choose yourself. So if there's no community out there whatsoever for what you're interested in, go ahead and start it. Start an online Facebook group. That's the easiest way you can do it. start an event, start a dinner series, find the people and attract them to your life. So if you don't see the beacon from a lighthouse, or you don't see any signs of life outside from entrepreneurs or tech people or anyone you want to associate with, be the one to send out the radar signal and bring people in to hang out with you. That's been what I did with 2 Billion Under 20. I also run a dinner party series in New York City where I've had, I think 1,500 people have passed through our dinners, both in New York and San Francisco now. And I've met more people there than anywhere. I've met business partners, I've met girlfriends, all through this dinner party series. And again, like if you can't find other people outside in other tribes, choose yourself and be the chief of that tribe, we could say.